Have you ever seen someone show off a skill they believed they mastered, but it was clear they hadn't? My 3-year-old daughter is convinced her cartwheel is flawless, even though it's not a real cartwheel at all. But to her, it's perfect, and she keeps doing it repeatedly. When I was her age, I was similarly confident. After watching the Radio City Rockettes perform in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, I decided I was going to be one of them someday. I didn't know it was the most competitive dance contract in the world, with hundreds of women auditioning each year for just a few spots. I simply felt it deep within me that I belonged there, in sparkles, red lipstick, dancing with the Rockettes. For years, I told everyone I was going to join them, no matter the challenges. Blisters, ice baths, you name it. And when people asked about my career plans in college, my answer remained the same. I'm going to be a Rockette. Imagine my surprise when, at 23, I showed up for an audition only to be told I was too short. Walking away in disbelief, my first thought wasn't to give up, but to figure out how to grow half an inch. The next year, with lifts tucked into my tights, I auditioned again. And this time, I was hired. Dancing with the Rockettes is one of my proudest accomplishments, a testament to persistence and determination. What got me there was my relationship with failure. I didn't view fear or disappointment as signs of defeat, but as part of the learning process. Yet, as I grew older, my desire for instant perfection started to reshape my perspective on failure. Social media only reinforced this shift, making me forget that growth takes time and effort. One of my biggest adult failures, or so it seemed, came when I was in my first executive role. After noticing my direct deposit had stopped, I was invited to meet with the company's owner at a top-tier restaurant in New York City. During our conversation, he complimented my achievements, but placed a paper check on the table. When I mentioned I hadn't received my last paycheck, he picked it up and, with a smirk, implied I'd have to do something for it. Though it wasn't the first time he'd made such an inappropriate offer, it was the first time he withheld my pay over it. In that moment, I felt a lump in my throat, my voice ready to crack, but my anger took over. I threw my water in his face, grabbed my purse, and stormed out. However, as I left the restaurant and hailed a cab, doubt began to creep in. I had just left my last 2 weeks of pay behind. How was I going to pay rent? Would this hurt my career? Even though I knew he was in the wrong, I couldn't shake the feeling of failure. But then, I remembered the day the Rockettes told me I wasn't tall enough. That could have been the end of my dream, but instead, I found another way. It dawned on me that this moment wasn't the end of my career either. I was just learning what kind of leader I wanted to be. In helping others reframe their relationship with failure, I break their goals into small, achievable steps, just like learning a cartwheel, one motion at a time, until they get it right. And if I hadn't faced my own failures, I wouldn't be able to remind others that failure is an essential part of learning. The statistics on failure are shocking. Nearly half of Americans say the fear of failure holds them back from their goals. In the UK, nearly half of adults won't even try a new hobby for fear of not succeeding. And a staggering 8 out of 10 young adults believe they aren't good enough and will fail in life. We need to change how we view failure, especially for young people. Social media's carefully edited highlight reels create unrealistic expectations. In reality, true achievement comes from the messy process of failing, learning, and trying again. If we can embrace failure the way we did as children, when mistakes didn't stop us from trying again, we'd all be better off. So, what can you accomplish if you stop being afraid of failure? Think about it. I'll see you out there on the kick line of life.